Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ratchet Ray here with a little wheel painting going on. I already did one here. This is how it turned out. Looks pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie. I love it a lot, so I'm going to do the rest of the car. But we're not using spray paint. We're using Plasti dip. This stuff's awesome. You can pretty much essentially peel it off like that if you don't like how it's looking. But how we did this basically is took a jacked up the car, removed the wheel. There's the bolts and such. And then now we're just taking the wheel out here under the grass, and what you want to do is get a hose and just kind of hose it off front and back. So you'd want to pick it up, flip it over, hose off the inside also. And then what I just did, I'll do it again since I sprayed more water on, is I got some wheel cleaner to remove like the brake dust and road dirt and stuff like that, because you don't want a Plasti dip with that on there. The Plasti dip can't really stick to it too well and cover it up. So we just sprayed that on there, and then just take like your cleaning sponge and just make sure you get all the little corners, everything. Because when I tried the first wheel, I didn't really scrub too well, and it was a disaster on the inside. Dirt and stuff that wasn't covered up everywhere. So I'm just going to finish cleaning this off. Like I said, you want to flip it over, because this stuff right here on the inner wall is the stuff that'll get you, like right there. So when I start spraying, we'll start recording again. Alright guys, once you got the wheel pretty much cleaned off, you want to get a dry, preferably microfiber towel. Doesn't have to be, it'll just get that last bit of dirt and dust off that you don't want on there. And you're just going to dry off the wheel as much as you can, because the Plasti dip won't stick to a wet surface. But once it's on there, it will repel water. It's crazy. When I sprayed some on there, a little water dripped on there and just kind of beaded right off. It's kind of like a protective layer. So we'll get this dried off and we'll start painting. Alright guys, now that we got the wheel all dried off, what you want to do is get some newspaper. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it rolls right off, but since I'm doing this in the garage, put some newspaper under the tire so when you're spraying down, it doesn't go through. And if you're working on an STI and it has this little STI thing, it's a pain getting this Plasti dip off of it. So what we're going to do is just go from behind it and just push it. It'll pop right off, and that will save us a lot of time when we are doing our cleanup. Alright guys, just applied the third coat. Starting to come together a little more. Go ahead and let that dry, and we'll show you the next coat. Alright guys, here we go. You're going to want to get your can, shake it a good couple times, turn upside down and shake it, just kind of get all that plastic mixed up pretty good. And then what we're going to do is just kind of a light, we don't want to lay it on too heavy, because you want to do as many coats as you can. It'll just give it that smooth, even finish. And you're going to come at all angles, so like that, and then you're going to want to go on the other side of it and get that side of it too. So just kind of this light, even coat, and we'll come back when we're doing coat 2. Alright, so here we go, coat number 2. Alright, and we'll check in with the next coat. Alright guys, so we got the tire, we got all the coats on there we want. The more the better, just because 1, it makes it easier to take off when you want to, and 2, it just gives you that extra protection. So what we're going to do is start with the tire here. We're just going to go ahead and kind of rub our finger here until it starts to work up like that. And then you just rub it until you can get a, kind of pick it up like this. And we're just going to walk around the outside of the frame of the rim, just kind of gently pulling up and you want to stay close to the base of where you're pulling up, otherwise it will break apart. And if you get this clean like this is, and if you overspray it a lot, which makes the cleanup easy, it'll just come off like that in one piece. And then I think it all came off because of that overspray, but on the STI rims, the rims kind of stick out a little, and so there's this little area down here where you can take just like a flathead screwdriver and kind of just peel up. Like on this tire I might have some, yeah, so like right here, you can just take this flathead, just kind of take this off, like right here, and it'll just kind of come off. And then once you've got that, the actual outside of the tire, if you're really particular, you can take your thumb or really just a cloth or something and just kind of rub it away like this. It'll just kind of rub right off. And yeah, once we've got that done, we'll just take our STI logo thing that we popped off. It's a little dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of wipe it off with this rag. We'll go ahead and get a little water. It looks like a little overspray the Plasti dip might have got on there. Well, that's okay. So we'll just kind of work that off. Now we'll take dry it off, and we'll take the STI thing, place it in there, and we'll just put some pressure, snap it back in. And there you go, guys. Once you've done that and you got all this rubbed off of your tire, then you can go ahead and place it back on, screw it on, lower your winch, and you're good to go. Alright guys, thanks for checking in on this, and we'll have more videos coming.